to your normal discussion where we talk about the hard topics uncensored. This is not your normal discussion. This is not your normal discussion. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Not Your Normal Discussion. I am your host, Queen Pedii.
And I'm Nina. Peace.
And I'm Glenn.
I'm Tryst.
All right. So we're going to start off with the Karen who decided to go to the school board meeting in Virginia and tell them that she was going to bring a loaded gun on a Monday, all because she doesn't want her kids to wear masks. I think that's just totally unacceptable. Like, as adults, we have the job of showing kids how to act. And I feel really bad for whoever's in her children's class, because I know those are little hellions. If that's how their mom thinks and talks around them, yeah, that's a no good. But I'm gonna be honest, if that was a Black woman or a man who said that, not even a Black man, but a man, period, has said, I'm going to come up here with a gun on Monday, he wouldn't have made it out of the school board meeting without being arrested. But for some reason, they let her go home as if this threat was nothing. Like, I don't understand. Like, does anybody else want to like touch on this? Because I don't understand what the thought process was with everybody.
So I don't understand why she was getting upset, because right now our new governor, Yuckins, I'm hoping I'm saying it right. He just got into office. I believe it was last week, and one of his first days was, which irks my nerves, is that schools do not have to wear masks. The kids in the school do not have to wear masks. I do not understand this when there are kids under the age of 5 that do go to public elementary schools that do get sick easily or have special, because they're mostly there because they got special needs or some development delay. They got an IEP, unless they're going to like Head Start, but still under 5 you cannot get a vaccination. So the parents have no way to even try to protect their child. On the school buses, it is mandatory to wear your mask, but when you're in your class, in the classrooms, they're not tiny. I'm sorry, they're not. You got about 25 students or close to 25 students in each classroom. So you tell me, if you're in a school with over 800 students, nobody's going to catch COVID? Nobody's going to pass it to each other by accident? Like, let's be serious. So there are 7 cities suing the governor over this because he is reaching into power that he's not supposed to. That's what they're trying to say, is you're going against the school board of each city and you tell them how to run their education. And for me, for my city, Virginia Beach, we actually have, the cases in the city is way higher than the cases they're getting in the schools. And that should tell you that the masks are working. I know some people say cloth mask doesn't really do anything, but if the school do provide like the regular mask that you get like from the doctors and stuff, so it has to be doing something. Something is working. It may not be 100% protective, but it's more protective than just going, hey, coughing up people or passing that around, because a lot of people, especially right now where you don't know if you got the virus or you got a flu or cold or your seasonal allergies, it's still better to protect and just wear masks. Like, for me, when I used to see like a lot of Asian people, whenever they get sick or they feel like they're about to get sick, they wear a mask. That way they don't accidentally transfer it to other people, which is courteous.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are like really don't want to wear it. And I'm like, sweetie, if you don't want your kids to wear a mask, there is
Homeschool.
homeschooling.
Mhm.
Go do that.
But they don't want to do that. You
I
know
don't
that.
care. If you want
They
to,
don't wanna do that. They
if
wanna
you
ship their
want
kids
to get
off.
your student, get other kids sick, teachers sick, because you fail to do your part in society. And I'm not saying, go, you have to have vaccination, whatever. If you can't even do the basic of wearing a mask, then go.
I'm just waiting for you.
You already know what I got to say about it. I think it's we as a society are giving up our freedoms. And the thing that kills me about all of this is we don't realize it because we keep wanting to say, oh, well, this reason and this reason. No, the little bit of freedoms we give away now is going to end up being a bigger picture in the long run. It should be people allowed to have their freedoms. If you want to come to school and you don't want your kid to have a mask, then let them do that. If everyone else is vaccinated, why are you worried about them?
Because you can still get sick with the vaccine, though. And then you can spread it to. This is the thing. The vaccine does not stop you from getting the
It's like the
virus.
chickenpox.
Yeah, it just keeps you from getting extremely sick. Because like when a person who doesn't have a vaccine, doesn't want to wear their mask, they come and they spread it to somebody that is vaccinated. They go home and they spread it to their family, and their family spread it and that's how come this shit will not go away.
But
it's
that's
because
a lie.
people keep thinking, no, it's not.
Yes, the people who
It's
don't,
getting around.
it's because of the vaccine that people were getting sick. The truth is people who
What?
were getting the vaccine. Yes.
I have not had COVID.
Yes.
I had both vaccines and the booster, and I have not had COVID. Please let me know why.
Me too.
That's just you. You might have not got it whether you got the vaccine.
I
or
don't
not.
know anybody.
I've been working in it since it started.
So
I know somebody who has the vaccine and got both COVIDs.
But that's different.
But they worked with a family that didn't want to get vaccinated.
Exactly.
And that's how they got it.
Yeah.
Because she was a nurse for a kid, and they didn't want their kid vaccinated, and they didn't want her to wear masks, and they didn't want the family didn't want to wear masks, and they actually complained when she was wearing a mask around them, saying that she was trying to put her belief onto them, and she's like, I'm just trying to protect myself, and she has a 92-year-old mother at home, and she ended up getting it again.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
It just.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to because I don't want people to think that that's true, because that's not true.
I would encourage everybody to do their own research. And that's
not
all I'm
YouTube
saying.
People. We're not talking about YouTube doctors. Not YouTube doctors.
No, we're not. But sometimes YouTube is better than the paid people.
This YouTube doctor shit. They didn't even go to medical school.
Yeah, some of them, but I mean,
if you can show me 5 doctors on
real
YouTube,
doctors that know they're
the ones that actually went to medical school
and continued learning, not from 1950.
Challenge accepted.
My butt red.
Challenge accepted.
And I want them to be able to, and their field of study is in germs and viruses and diseses.
I'm sorry, I just because like I said, I don't want misinformation. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
I'm a challenge accepted. I would do that for y'all. I mean, like I said, I respect.
And I will look them up myself to make sure they actually have their.
My thing is, I'm about freedom. I respect everybody's choice and how they feel about the situation. But my thing is too, you don't have to be a doctor to open your eyes and just see what the reality is going on. The reality is we have a virus that is like the flu, but is a lot worse that no one really completely understands. And that's why people with the virus, with the vaccine has got it. People without the vaccine have got it. People with the vaccine have not got it. They
But
don't. They
they're
don't
saying
even
that
know.
people without the vaccine gets it a lot worse than people who has the vaccine.
Yeah, that's what
But
they
is that
say.
false information or if that's not
Hold
I
on.
don't.
the study?
Hold on. 1 second. Tryst,
Yes.
I know you were saying.
Well, let me speak on a couple of things. First, with the actual lady with the mask. Now, if we wasn't in this weird reality we are in, and if this was like Euphoria, and like let's say like Cal or like Nate Jacobs' mom was up there at the podium, and they cut her off. It's like your time is up, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll see you all on Monday." That'd be a gangster scene. It'd be like, "Oh shit, what's gonna happen next week?" But it'd be as a scene. So like, I was like, "This is." White people always be pulling these weird gangster moves because of white privilege. But like at the end of the day, like you over here risking arrest when your boy Yudkin is already talking about. If anything, she should be like, listen, my kid's not gonna wear the mask. The governor said that the mask and wearing is optional. So if my kid comes in here without a mask, I don't want to hear shit, or else we will be taking like white people should remember they have white privilege and play the cards they can play instead of like going full like, yo, you don't even have to worry about my son being a school shooter. I'll be the school shooter. Let's go. Like that's the kind of move she was taking. Like, bitch, it would have been much easier if you just like remember the white privilege. Like, it's fun and nice for y'all to be encouraging all this. I want to remind y'all only have to put out this letter because the government said we don't have to do this shit. I'm reminding my son, my daughter, whoever they don't. And if you want to try me, we can play games. That's the move she should have played for the whole.
But I have a question though. Like, if that had been a white man that said that, do you think he would have gotten arrested right then and there?
Oh
Yes.
no,
You don't
he
think so?
you know crazy he looks. Now if he is someone that they could have typecasted as some Antifa like leftist type person, then probably if it was a whole like when it comes to white men, especially, like society finds all types of ways to bend over backwards to be like, oh, he didn't really mean that. He was just about his rights. But for whatever reason, the energy she had, like I said, it was kind of gangster, but like gangster in a like you're watching shit from the side, like ooh, what's gonna happen next week? But like in reality, it's like it's kind of crazy. Like why? Why would you say that? If it was a white man, I think they probably would have had the police investigate. But like I feel like there's been some kind of loophole. I mean, just the way she said it, I can feel where people are like, let's look at this. But I also feel like they want to make an example of her so that other people don't feel emboldened because a lot of what we have today, especially in states like Virginia, where like you have a lot of reactionary people like Youngkin was also talking about banning like CRT and shit like critical race theory. And like in Texas, they're talking about like banning certain books from the libraries. So like you have a lot of reactionary people who are like, I mean, let's be honest, nationalism is on the rise, fascism is on the rise. Shit, we could be in World War III, depending on how we escalate with shit. Like people are on edge and like people feel it. So like when they feel that extra energy of like, they, they might get the police. But with that shit, now on one hand, speaking about freedom, I'm all against the concept of like vaccine mandates, for example, especially when you have like liability shields for the companies that you're basically mandating everyone to get vaccinated. And like you see why like a lot of shit's be pulled away too because the Supreme Court struck that down. And like with the businesses requiring their people to be mandated to be vaxxed or to be tested. Which if if we did things in a proper way that like actually helped facilitate people being doing things, there would have been a way to have done those type of things that wouldn't have been like, oh, it's on you to like pay for your test versus like the state is like taking care of businesses able to test people and you
Uh-oh.
didn't have to resort to vaccine mandates
Is his
because there
thing
was
frozen?
mass mandates. I think earlier. I don't know if y'all can't hear me right now.
I can hear you. We could hear you the whole time. Your thing was just.
Because like when
Breaking up.
a couple times. Yeah, so I might do that. My internet's kind of, we gotta work that out one day. But yeah, with the whole mask situation, like I've heard people who like said that, oh, there's not evidence saying that the mask cuts down transmissions and that between mask and remote learning, like kids are behind like developmentally, like they're two standard deviations behind in IQ and stuff. Let's be honest about American education. It's not the best shit out there. Like think about all the COVID relief money that schools got that they use instead of for ventilation, they use for like their like core their gyms, and like kids are sitting with the windows open in their jackets in class as like the ghetto ass way of doing ventilation. Like we in this country, we do shit so ass backwards, and then we're like, but look at the consequences, look at the children. And we like, if we did shit properly, like a lot of this shit wouldn't be so dumb. Like, for example, let's take vaccine mandates, for example. My biggest thing against it was that one, like, how are you gonna mandate this shit for these companies and then keep like liability shields? So, like, let's say later on we find out something genetically has happened to like part of the population off the shit. You can't sue those companies because it was just like, hey, that's what it was. It's like that's that's stupid, and especially at the same time, right now, the military has a vaccine that like not only is effective against COVID, but is also effective against all SARS viruses. This would be a perfect time to be like, listen, we're gonna get rid of the vaccine mandate, and we're putting in this other trial vaccine. It will only protect you against like this. That should be the whole concept of gain of function. Like if you're doing research on these deadly viruses, and if they break out, like which is most likely what happened, like you have a whole world pandemic, the one silver lining to all that should be like, well, because we did this study, we now have a vaccine that's not only good against this one thing, but is also good against all viruses. So if you're willing to try that, let's say they did some financial incentive or something like that. Like let's say when, for example, the people who ran on handling the virus and saying they were going to give us $2,000 monthly check and didn't do none of that shit. But let's say they did that, and then okay, we're not gonna do no vaccine mandate, but the people who are willing to get vaccinated with this great ass vaccine will get. If you getting 2,000 a month, you get 3,000 a month until the next time you're supposed to get into the vaccine or whatever. You would have had way more people willing to jump on it. The people who know who didn't feel pressed to do it, they would still be taken care of to some degree, and you would have less contention. But like you see all the stuff falling away with Supreme Court's involved, different governors doing their things, and because of the ass backwards way we do shit in America, we've allowed that to happen. We've allowed it to be this political thing that could have just been, let's be nuanced how about how we talk about masks, let's be nuanced how we talk about vaccine, let's be nuanced about how we talk about the best ways to protect ourselves and to protect each other, what actually stops transmission, what actually just makes you asymptomatic but still capable of transmitting. If we had done this like a scientific country versus a country that like is all full of superstitions and like mistrust and hyper individualization, we would have been in a better place and we wouldn't have like a million dead off the shit alone.
Glenn, you want to finish?
No, I mean I'm good. I said what I had to say.
Give me
I
a
will
second.
piggyback off of what Tryst was saying, that I personally can say if they would have said, okay, we're working on a vaccine and given it the proper time to truly work on it, then came out and said, look, we fully put this through all of the stuff it had to go through. We worked on this. This is what it is. Boom. I might be more comfortable and get it. But that's
what about the flu vaccine that's different every year?
Yeah, but the whole point is they've put research and research and research.
There's been
into the
research
flu
for
vaccine.
COVID as
How?
well.
And most people who got the flu
There's been
vaccine
research for COVID as
don't
well.
end up getting the flu.
Well, my thing too also is like the flu
I got
vaccine.
the flu when I got the flu vaccine.
Huh?
The one time I got the flu vaccine, I ended up getting
You
the
end up
flu.
getting the flu.
Yes.
Because of the vaccine,
Your
or
ass from getting the flu. It just keeps you from dying from the flu.
See, I don't
okay.
get it because I got really, really sick one
Yeah.
year.
What I'm saying is, when people think of a vaccine, they think, oh, it's going to keep me from getting it. No, it does not. Please stop putting that out there. It does not keep you from getting it. It just, it helps your body recognize how to fight it.
So there's a natural way
It's
too,
a
right?
dead virus that's in there. It's dead. It's not going to re-alive itself. That's not the word, but it's not going to re-alive itself once it gets into your body. Point blank period. Like
Especially the Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson vaccines is because they're mRNA vaccines. They're not even really the dead virus, or like it's the code. So that's why like you did have a lot of situations where like yes, transmission, like not transmission, your hospitalizations and all that is cut down, but they were selling us this idea is going to cut down transmission when like really a lot of people were still getting it, but either being asymptomatic or still getting symptoms and like still getting it, but not getting it as badly as they could have got it. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. That's all a vaccine is supposed to do. It's not supposed to be like, oh, I magically just can't get it. I learned that from when I got the pneumonia vaccine, thinking my stupid ass could just go outside and it was raining and cold and I forgot my umbrella. I'm like, I'll be okay. Got pneumonia.
But to me, the biggest difference is that like one, because these are mRNA vaccines, they don't last to the same degree where like, for example, a vaccine usually lasts most people's whole lives or something like that. A vaccine usually lasts.
I mean, the flu shot lasts what, once a year?
Yeah. What? The flu?
The flu shot.
Yeah, but the flu shot, we already know the way.
I don't understand. Y'all will run up to the CVS to get the flu shot, but will not get this COVID vaccine. The flu shot is made every year. And then before COVID even got here, it was a flu variant that their ass didn't even catch on to. And I caught it and I almost died because they didn't have that flu shot. And I'm like,
but the thing
y'all acting like this is like some mysterious thing that the government is gonna inject us with COVID and make us all sick. We're not, that's not what it is. I get what you're saying about the vaccine mandates. I do think that's kind of neat, but at the same time, you have to protect people, especially when you're working in the healthcare
But
field.
also, I think because COVID is such a pandemic to the whole world that they pulled their resources together to try to hurry up and find a cure versus anything else. Because before we didn't have internet or easier ways to actually communicate to make the other regular vaccinations. So since we're able to Zoom like this or communicate through YouTube, Google, Facebook, all the media platforms to get the great minds together to be able to talk and be able to share their studies or their findings a lot faster than before. So I think that's probably another reason why it was so quickly made. But they also realized that, hey, it's not 100% right. So that's why they have the boosters to kind of stretch it out.
Like, for example, Israel was going to try a fourth booster shot for Omicron, and then that trial kind of basically failed because they realized they could run into the risk of immune system fatigue. So we might be at the point where we can no longer go past the 2 shots and the booster, where after that point, you might start fatiguing people's immune systems and making them more susceptible to COVID.
That's why they're kind of saying that it's better to get the second shot about 21 days after getting your first one.
Because I will say this, I am not interested in getting stuff again. I will say that. I have done my 3 and I am done. So whatever else they come up with, y'all, the rest of y'all gonna have to go and get that, because for me, my immune system is already fucked up anyway. I have 2 autoimmune disorders, and I personally, I'm not. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Okay, I already got my vaccine. I'm good. I'm gonna stay the hell away from y'all. So
You ain't going nowhere.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna sit right here.
Again, when you have liability shields, it looks shady. When the people who are in Congress passing these things are talking to these huge companies are getting billions of dollars, and they have stock in those companies, it looks shady. When like Fauci, for example, is trying to suppress the whole concept of a lab leak, even though that's the most likely way that this whole broke out in the first place, it looks shady. So you're going to create people out there that don't trust it. And by trying to force the vaccine mandate, and then on top of that, maintaining the liability shields, and then also not saying, okay, we're going to try and look into these other, whether it's monoclonal treatments, whether it's like Novavax or the Merck anti-COVID antiviral pill.
Yeah.
When you make it look shady, yeah, my big like for me, the biggest thing that's motivating me to consider getting vaccinated is like spring and summer's coming up. I want to be out living. I want to date. I want to have fun. I want to, I want to be where the people are. All that stuff, right? So
Okay, little mermaid over there.
I want to be out doing shit. And like I already caught COVID, and like there was a brief second while what I had, especially when the migraines and chills was crazy. I was like, damn man, should I have gotten vaccinated? But I was like, well, niggas is already getting sick during this whole wave while being vaccinated, so I guess it would have made a difference. But
That's
the
my
thing
point.
that motivated me wasn't the mandate.
Who wants to get sick? Who wants to get sick?
But
You were sick,
that's
Tristan.
natural
You
though.
were
But your
sick.
body needs to
That's
get a little
natural,
sick.
and I fought
When you were
through it.
sick.
But
No,
And I
hold on,
fought
hold on,
through
hold on.
it,
it's
and
not
I'm
natural.
fine.
I have
True,
to ask
though.
him this. When you were sick,
Yeah.
yes, you trunked it up, you champed it out, and you got on here. But did you feel good?
Did I feel
Was
good?
it?
No, I was sick, but that's natural.
No, hold on. No, I need him to answer this. Was it fine for you?
Could have been just as sick with the vaccine or with the booster. So the
I mean, but imagine if
and my thing is I
you had
haven't
the vaccine though.
coverages. I've never told no one not to get vaccinated because
No,
like
no, I know that.
it does cut
I'm
down,
just saying.
it does cut down on death. But my thing is the way we've talked about it, we've acted like, oh, stay away from me if you didn't get vaccinated, like as if
Oh no.
you'd be a carrier.
Like,
Like,
I have a lot of friends that haven't been vaccinated. I just wear a mask around them.
well, that too. But
yeah.
the thing with the mask,
I'm not judging nobody.
that the mask doesn't even stop you from getting if someone's like coughing in your face. It's more so we all got masks, we would cut down transmission from like ourselves personally. If we talk about these things, those type of nuances, I feel like more people would have been willing to go along with more of all of this, and we'd
Thank
be
you.
talking about multiple different plans versus just like think about it. The government is basically.
I think if Trump wasn't running around saying it was a Democratic hoax, people would have actually fucking listened. And then his ass got sick and almost fucking died.
He just got the shot though.
Yeah, exactly. He has the fucking vaccine, and he been telling them, "Hey, get the vaccine."
He was
Okay.
based also feeling. I will say this with remember at the same time too, when Trump was in office and he was trying to speed up the vaccine, remember Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Anthony Cuomo, they all said, I'm not going to trust this vaccine under Trump. I'm not, they said, I'm not going to trust the CDC under Trump. And then when they took power, they were so surprised that people didn't trust them in the same way they were saying they weren't going to trust Trump's vaccine, even though it's the same government agencies. So that's why it's like, we can't on one hand be like if Trump was still in office, be like, yeah, I don't trust that shit for real. But just because it's Democrats in office, like, how can you not trust them? You have to see where, like, yes, that's what I'm saying. Nuance is everything. You have to see where, like, let's talk about this in common sense ways and not act like it's not real. Like, people aren't really sick, and like people who don't have comorbidities or who haven't been vaccinated don't have better chances of survival and everything like that. But also let's lend some credence to why things do look shady and why certain people don't trust it, and then put better, like run the system in a better way that people would have more incentives either to get vaccinated, to wear their mask, or to just take this either more seriously or be more capable of seeing other ways out versus just, I guess now that everyone got Omicron, we'll see in a few months we're all good or we're all fucked. You know?
Okay, so going back to the topic about the parent with the guns, so she was charged with making a verbal threat while on school property, and she was released by a judge on a $5,000 bond. So what she did say was no masks mandates. My children will not come to school Monday with a mask on, all right? That's not happening. King told the school board during a comment period on Thursday. I'm not exactly, and then she goes, and I will bring every single gun loaded and ready, she said before being cut off by the 3 minute. But she also told, of course, like you said, Tryst, she turned around and said, I'll see y'all on Monday. But my thing is that she emailed the school board to say she did not actually mean to threaten violence.
No, fuck that. You said
And
what
then,
you said.
and then she said, and I in no way meant to imply all guns loaded as in actual firearms, but rather all resources I can muster to make sure that my children get to attend school without masks. My sincere apologies for my poor choice in words.
Let me tell you what that is. That's the email version of the white girl tears.
So y'all
got arrested. But now she has a charge. Now she wants to, I didn't mean to. No, baby, you said that shit with your chest and said, I'll see you on Monday with an attitude. Baby, you meant it. You meant it when you said it, and you mean it even now. Stop it. You were going to come up there with a gun. You know you were going to do it.
You think she was?
Crazy ass. Yes, she was. Anytime you look somebody in their fucking eyes and say, I'll see you on Monday, you mean that shit. When I tell you
she was gonna come up there with guns to blow up the school.
About guns, but
that's the email version of white girl tears. I'm sorry, Karina. I know you don't like it when I do this, but that is what it is. And now she wants to cry and sit there and be like, I didn't mean to. Yes, you did. You meant every fucking word. You endangered children. And not even just children, but teachers too, staff, all of them. That is so dangerous in this time where kids are coming to school with guns. Why would you say that?
She said it during a board meeting, so there.
It doesn't matter.
She
said she was coming up to the school with guns.
She didn't say that though.
She didn't say she going to the. She said I'll see you on Monday, as in like the board.
Yeah, she didn't say that. I think
coming up there.
But my thing, no, let's get our facts straight. Let's get our facts straight.
Like, I'll see you on Monday. They're not doing.
Like what?
Why is this not the answer? But let's get our facts straight. She didn't say she going up to the school.
Where was she going to go on Monday? Because I'm pretty sure the board was not meeting on Monday. Where was she going to go on Monday?
They probably was meeting on Monday.
Where was she really going to go on Monday?
She was going to go to the school, but she didn't say, I'm coming up to the school with guns.
It doesn't matter. You don't threaten people, though. Come on.
No, I agree. And I think that's what she's saying in the email.
Well, now she got a charge.
To come off like
now
that.
She got a charge. Now she has a charge. She better live with that.
She's still
going to be on her record.
The court. She still got to go through court. She's
got a bond, though. They got the video. They going to get her.
But did she go? Did she actually? Because I didn't watch the video. Did she actually go, hey, I'm going to come with guns loaded. I'll see y'all Monday.
So if my kids have to wear a mask, I'm coming up here. I'm coming.
But the thing is, there is no law. There is no law that says kids have to wear masks anymore. Since that's Friday.
But the point is that they're saying they have to still wear the damn mask.
No, they don't.
School board isn't saying that.
No, the school board has no say in this right now. That's why the governor is getting sued because
that's why they're upset. But what I'm saying is that woman had no right to threaten anybody. with her grown ass.
Yeah, if anything, she should have been like, look, you can make a big problem for this, but the governor's changed the rules, so my kids are gonna come without masks. If you punish them, we're going to bring this to the highest court we can
Yeah,
to
she
get
could have
you
did it.
first. So play games with us if you want. That's what she should have done. But
Yes.
because she got upset that they cut her off, she said all she said before about being locked and loaded. And then when they cut her off, she said, I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah. And like, how you supposed to take that? Like, if somebody said that to you and then said, I'll see you on Monday, what is going to go through your mind? You're going to be
I'm
like,
like,
oh,
all right.
shoot me. She going to come and try to shoot me.
No, not necessarily.
This person.
I think she's gonna come back because she only got 3 minutes. She's gonna come back and finish yelling in my ear to a
No, girl.
I don't think she's gonna come
don't
up
be
with no
naive
damn
with that.
gun.
Please be naive with that. Don't.
Yeah.
Because let me be real. Somebody said something about a gun.
Somebody
They
said
said
that to me.
Monday they're gonna see you Monday with that gun.
No.
Yes, they are.
That's not what she said.
Okay. I'm gonna stop.
If it was a black guy making those kind of
I'm telling
actions,
you, if it was a black person, it would
the
have
black person saying those type of things, you know, they would have gone ham
been.
on him. They would have added some kind of assault charge in all of this. I don't know the way this is gonna play out. She's probably gonna get a fine. She's probably gonna do community service. But if this was deeper than just some white lady like mouthing off, we would be seeing some real extra added attention. We'd be hearing about the criminal past of the family and their family members. We'd be hearing like, oh, the hateful things they've said online. We'd be hearing all types of extra basically, to try and paint that they are a potentially violent person.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else.
All right.
They're gonna give her a slap on the wrist and be like, yo, don't say that because you know kids be mass shooting every week.
Yeah. All right. All
There's
right, y'all.
also students that are staging walkouts for more protection in schools because around the country because they want more protection from spreading the virus to family members.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's take a break, y'all. Let's take a break. Ooh, isn't this pretty? Okay. I guess they put rocks in there. Socks. You like you want the candy. I'm here for it. Yes. Oh, that they have in here. Cute little bear. Saying hello, sunshine. Oh, they said hi. We hope you enjoy your box this month. Have a great day. Yay! Your favorite lotion too. You want to open it? It's a little mesh one. Got a new cup too. Oh, what's this? Oh, I thought that was a gift card for something. Yes, paint set. Oh, it's a wind chime. Do it yourself wind chime, Angel. Some nice socks for your feet. And a cute little bear. So adorable. Okay. All right. Okie dokie. That was a heated little discussion there. All right, but our next topic is about Regina King and her son, who sadly and tragically committed suicide last Friday at the age of 26. I just think that is just so sad because he was so young and his career was actually taking off. And it just seemed like he was a happy person. And I know that you can seem happy and you could be like really depressed inside, because I've done that. Like, it's many pictures that I've taken and I was like super depressed and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you look so good. And I'm like, y'all only knew. So I can understand, kind of. But I feel really bad for her because that was her only child. Like, that was her heart and soul. And I can't even imagine the pain. And I can't even imagine the moment she found out that her son was not even on this earth anymore. Like, that's got to be the saddest thing to have to experience as a parent, period, because no parent wants to outlive their child ever. Like, we want to, well, I'm not a parent yet, I'm a fur parent, but we want to, like, we want them to be able to keep going after we're gone. We don't want them to be gone before us, and we have to go to their sites and stuff, because my mom has had to deal with losing a child at 17. Well, my brother was 17 when he was killed, but she has to live with that. And that sucks. Like, I've watched her become strict because of it. But it's sad. But the real topic here is how we deal with like mental health in the Black community, because it seems as if we're not taking it as seriously. Like, we want to take it seriously, but I feel like a lot of people don't have the resources to be able to even do it, because like a lot of insurances, they don't cover it, even though like, and they don't give you like a list of places where you can just go and get even just therapy. Um, because I'll be honest, I have a therapist. It's a woman, and she actually has the same autoimmune disorder that I do. So we connect on that level. And I talk to her once a month. And, she helps me sort out the things that are going cuckoo, maybe at that moment, or the things that are going good at that moment. She always makes sure that I'm good. She checks in on me. She'll text me even throughout the month. She'll make sure, I'm good. Cause like I've been in that position of, hey, I'm done with life. Like I've done it twice. So I know. I've, like I said, I've been in his shoes. I totally understand. And it's a hard thing to process, to even want to not be on the earth anymore. You have to be going through a lot, like whether it's loud or silent, it's there's something that is like weighing down on you. So I don't know. I'm definitely an advocate for going to therapy, going to a psychiatrist. I've been going to one since I was 20. So yeah, I mean, I will say, I mean, that has helped me greatly, because who I was before I even went to a psychiatrist for the first time is not the person I am today. I was somebody that laid in bed and didn't do anything, and friends had to like basically pull me to get me to do things because I was so depressed. So, and it's interesting because I told my mom, I said, I think something is wrong with me. And she was like, there's nothing wrong with you. I think a stigma is that parents don't want to admit that there could be something wrong with their child because their child is supposed to be perfect. There's not supposed to be anything wrong with you. You're supposed to be happy, but that's not how it is all the time. Things happen in life that can make you depressed. And I I was ignored and I had to advocate for myself. So anybody else? Sorry.
So for me, every time I try to let my parents know, they like I have very low esteem and confidence, especially when it comes to the way I talk. So for the longest time, I I run or I do run on sentences, and I keep going and going and going and going, and my conjunction, I think that's correct. I don't know, can't remember my English. Anyways, I would say and then and then and then, and I'd be really excited, not real. They would actually make fun of me. They go, and so right when I started saying and then I did this and this and this, and then I did this and I did this and then I did this, and then they go and then one day in band camp. So that would like hurt me because it got me to talk a little bit faster to try to get them to actually hear what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. And half the time they didn't want to hear what I was saying. But not only that, but I told them it made me feel really bad about myself. And did it. And then so another thing that happened was like right now, I'm gonna be honest, I am depressed. Some days I don't even want to get out of bed, or most days I don't get out of bed. My kids, they're actually nice enough to um, make sure everybody's fed. They make sure that hey mom, come on, let's get up. Let's at least let's start cleaning a little. Let's um, go brush your hair. Like, I'm sorry, this is what you're getting right now. Down the road, I will be better. So I will get better. I will look better. Anyways, so I am really depressed. I am hopefully gonna find me a therapist or at least a psychologist because I need help. Um, that is the hardest step, to actually admit that you need help. So it's really hard for me. Um, but I've been needing one since I was little, and I just keep putting it off, especially after getting kids. I put it off because I got feet flying in the damn air. I put it up. I stopped um, thinking about taking myself there because my kids come first. Plus, the price you don't know the price of therapy. You don't know if they're gonna be a good fit for you or not. You don't want to keep having to go to different therapists and try to. I'm one of those people that I don't like to open up a lot. So if I'm opening up to you, that means you're important to me. If I don't open to you or I start shutting you out. So a lot of people don't realize how much it costs, or they don't want to open up to a lot of new people to figure out if they're a good fit or not. Plus, a lot of people don't know the prices and what to expect, and a lot of people are feeling shamed, and especially when it comes to your parents. Parents, our parents, even the Hispanic side, and I don't know too much about Asian, but Asian, they be mean. They be tell you straight up that you're a failure. Like they don't even call you stupid or anything. They're like, you're a failure.
Failure. Yeah.
You're not a lawyer, you're not a doctor, you're a failure.
Yeah.
But I know for like my side of the family, my mom's side, like anytime I tell them like, hey, I need to see somebody, like even going to the doctor was like, are you dying? You're not dying? You don't need to go. And I'm like, but we got track hair. You're paying for health. Let me go to the doctor. Girl, you okay? You just go once a year and get your checkup, your 1 year checkup, and you're good. And I'm like, I'm dying, Mom. Like, she didn't even want to take me to the ER when I had my asthma attack. She got mad at me. She's like, you better keep having an asthma attack when we get to the ER.
It doesn't even matter.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
The mayor of Hyattsville, Maryland just fucking killed himself.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, wow.
The tweet just came in.
Girl, you better put that up there.
Oh, we gonna keep this in here. Yes, they said breaking. The mayor of Hyattsville, Maryland has died by suicide. City leaders report Mayor Kevin Ward died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They call him a trusted leader and fierce advocate for the people of Hyattsville.
Why did he kill himself?
I guess we'll find out in the
Are you
coming.
sure he killed himself and nobody else did it and just staged it? If he was as trusted as they're saying, if he's as trusted as they're saying in pride of the city, then
I mean,
That's crazy.
This is like, that's wild that tweet came through
At this moment.
Yeah.
And I was over here feeling weird vibes too. Yeah, dang.
I was gonna make you. I was ready to cry.
Aren't you in Maryland?
Yeah.
Glenn.
Yeah, I'm in Rockville. But I know what Hyattsville. That's why I used to live with Tia.
I'm actually close to Hyattsville. Like, I can walk to Hyattsville.
Yeah, that's why I used to live with Tia. College Park is right beside her. So.
Yeah.
Lay down, Jack.
That is so, and this is what I'm saying, y'all. Like, and black man just killed himself. He was the mayor.
That's
freaking mayor. People,
you never know.
Like, yeah, like, wow.
And can I say and see? I think this is the issue with it. Is I can say, especially for men, we're taught to just like be, oh, you gotta be strong, you gotta wipe that stuff off, you can't cry. And it's like, it be the warriors that actually need it. It be the warriors that actually really, it's because you've trained us to hold all this stuff in that we can only hold but so much. And then when we feel like we need someone to talk to, because I've dealt with it myself, you know what I'm saying? I've tried to commit suicide plenty of times. I mean, lucky for me, call it God, call it the universe, whatever, it kept me from doing it. But it's so important, mental health, because people just really don't, you can easily put a smile on your face. You can easily look good, and people will never know in the inside what's going on. You know, I knew people that blew their head off. And then just the day before, I was talking to him, and he seemed absolutely fine. And that's the thing. You can wake up, you can take a shower, you can put clean clothes on, you can outwardly look your best, and inside be dying. And if we're not given the tools to be able to talk to somebody, no one telling us, hey, you know what, it's okay. Here's somebody that you can talk to, let it out. We hold that in until we can't hold it in anymore. And then we finally let it out. We become the school shooters, or we become the suicide victims, or we become the people that just, they go to drugs for a way out, and now we're wondering why they're homeless on the street now. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we should have a moment of silence. I just suggest that after Tryst talk.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta be more empathetic in this hyper individualistic, competitive society. Like if you really think about the reason why so many, like especially ethnic families have that kind of concept of like, you need to get it together, like how you gonna survive. Like from slavery on, there was just such a, almost like in the wild kingdom where like life, like predators target the young, the sick, the old. There was just evil energy in our matrix, basically, in our lives, that like would target the ones that they can get hold of. And we talked about this before when we talked about like how a lot of our parents were like so hard on us because they didn't want to have to worry about our survival on top of worrying about their survival and everything else. Like almost being upset with you for having problems or having things that are holding you back because like, listen, I gotta put this extra burden on like to protect you too. And it's because we live in a world that doesn't really care about anybody else if it doesn't benefit them. And like, if someone like on some crabs in the barrel shit, if someone falls down, like it's like, ooh, well, that's them. That just means more sunlight for me. And we gotta get to an empathetic place where we can actually hold each other down and like look after each other and like build some type of nurturing and strengthening in our communities because like for example growing up for me like growing up with the kind of religious fear of the world's gonna end and like that shit can snuff you out at any time and like by the time I was 10 like I've never considered myself suicidal, but by the time I was 10, I was already thinking like, yo, I feel like by the time I'm 30, the world's gonna get to that fucked up place. And I don't wanna be here then. I wanna kill myself by that. And I mean, look where we're at. I'm 30, I'm about to be 33. Look what the world's going through right now. But like even then I was like, fuck, I can't kill myself because then I'll just go to hell. So I was like, like for a long time I would call my strategy for life levitate like that song, I'm a levitate, make the devil wait type shit. And my thing for the longest time was like, while there's time in this world to like show people love and help people smile, help people with the shit they're going through, help people smile where there's time to smile. And so I was always somebody who would be there for people who are depressed, people who've gone through like violence and assault and everything like that, to try and like be someone who a shoulder they can cry on, be someone that there for them because and then also like I was the type of person who was so afraid of like the end, all that type of shit, that I was like for a time period of my life was very on some antisocial shit. Like I don't want no liabilities gonna fuck me up in the end. And like by the time I hit like seventh grade, I literally was like, all right, I think there's a little bit more time. Because like seventh grade, 9/11 happened, all that. And so that even more like paranoia about the future of the world. I was like, I feel like there's a little bit of time before shit gets fuck. And I feel like we're moving on a scale towards fuck, but I'm like, there's a little bit more time before like just like that. So I was like, let me get like develop my personality more, develop myself more. So like I literally asked my teacher to let me like join a drama improv class to help me become more expressive because I like up to that point I was very to myself. Like I had like in fifth grade like two friends or something like that in school. So I joined the improv class on Fridays. Like I was able to leave my Spanish class to do that, and I would also like at the end of every like school day would come to the like final steps, like the steps to the basement, because our homeroom was in the basement, and I would get a crowd of people to like watch me jump the entire staircase as a way to just get used to people's eyes on me, like, and that all that illness love, right? But that was my way of like trying to get myself out there more and be more both sociable and also able to talk to people. And like for example, I would say like the people that I did get close to in life would be people that I either like wanted to like that I saw like how they led life and how carefree and like confident they were. I either wanted that or later in life, people I felt I can be myself and open and honest with and feel accepted rather than like observed and analyzed. And like for example, I always say like with my where I live now with my best friend and with their family, I call them like my first like normal family, quote unquote, that I live with. Like, and I've called talking to them. They like were going through therapy, and they also have a lot of mental health issues. But like I being able to actually talk to them about the way I was raised and everything like that, recognize where there was abuse in all of that, and be okay with the concept of like wanting to get therapy, wanting to get medication, not seeing it as something that might change how I am in a negative way. And for example, like recently, not too long ago, I would say sometime like September, when I was going to preach a sermon about Christian socialism, basically. And I was with my mother, and we were having this big argument in the car. Like I'm trapped in the car for like a whole hour while we're driving, and we're just having an argument. And like at one point, she was like, "Yo, you think I beat you guys bad? Like if you knew the way my father beat me, and if you knew the way like he touched me and all these other things, like you wouldn't think that the way you guys got beat was bad." And I was just like, okay, but do you see why you might need therapy for that? Because like, yes, this is another thing too. A lot of people just think, oh, if I put my all into God or into anything else, then like I'm good. But in the same way you believe in a fate healing God, but you still have to go to the doctor, you still go to the hospital if you need it, just because you believe in a God that like can like empower your faculties, there's nothing wrong with also seeking therapy on top of it too, because sometimes yes, it's good to have a church community or a community of friends that you can like lay your cares on and you have a God you can pray to. But sometimes there are things that you wouldn't see because your train of thought is just locked in a certain position and no one's really you don't really interact with anyone who can check you on bad behaviors that you feel is covered because God understands where I'm at. And like when I talk to my sister and her daughter who like still till like age 11 is peeing the bed and like all kinds of other issues there. And she told me like, you know, sometimes advice she gets from our aunt and from our mother, they'd be like, oh, well, if maybe you need to beat her. And my sister's like, she can't beat her because in the times when she tried to beat her before, she almost damn near killed her. Like, and she said, well, she keep peeing in bed like that. You know, you need to have her sleep on a mat instead of a bed. So it's just like, what? Am I have her sleep on the floor? It's like people will tell you things, and that's how like people will tell you things like that if you really were to do it, they look at you like you're crazy, like you're abusing them, but you're not giving them helpful advice. And we need to get to, like I said, a place of empathy where the first thing isn't to just judge and be like, just do this, just do that. And it'll like, oh, this is a problem, correct the problem by just eliminating something. But if we actually held each other down as a community and was like, yo, let's help. Like my sister, basically, she's not working an official job. She like does hair, she does whatever side hustle she needs to basically pay for her place and take care of like her and her daughter. And like they might buy gifts every now and then, but like real actual full support is just like prayers and stuff. And it's like the point of being Christian isn't just to be like, I'm gonna pray for you. The point of praying is to be like, yo, God, what can I actually do to help improve the lives of the people around me? The point of believing in a higher power is to be like, yo, there is a love out there that is so strong, we should be reflecting that to other people and what we're willing to do for them. And that's for example, like growing up with all that religious like fear, what helped me with a lot of that to this day now is reaching a place of understanding with like Christian socialism, where like there are systemic issues and inequalities in this world, and it is our responsibility to do what we can to call out the inequality and call out the people who allow it to continue, but to also find a way to make a difference for people's lives. Like you have a whole church and you have people who pay whole tithe. The whole point of that isn't just to sit in a church and just make the church look better and to buy a pastor cars or whatever and pay their bills. The point of us collecting those type of resources is to help take care of one another. And beyond the church, if we as a community and our families and with our groups of friends, like the concept of people who buy like houses together and like live together, and they might not be like married or anything, they're like might be just a network of friends, but like they're able to like hold their families down because they recognize that like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to do it on my own. And that's something that I feel the newer generation is carrying forward, and all of us can learn from. Like, we can't do this on our own. Like, look at for example, how many rich people or people in power are to the brink of addiction or to killing themselves, because even with power and even with money, there's still no happiness. There's still a void that's there. And then for us who are poorer, who don't have even the things to guarantee, like how easy it is to fall off the wagon and either end up homeless or end up needing to rely on some kind of thing to like occupy our time, some kind of addiction, or just getting in more bitter relationships and then pushing people away, and like seeing, like, to get to the point where you kill yourself, you have to really, the options that you see for your life really have to dwindle down to like basically that final door. And
Wow.
like we need to really like get to a place where we, like, beyond politics, whatever, we need to get to a place where we recognize, like for example, if we were to talk about politics, look at climate change. This is an issue that we're saying if we don't fix by 2030, like by 2040 or 2050, society can collapse, civilizations can collapse. And we're kind of just like, yeah, that's probably gonna happen. Like, we're just like, yeah, all
We
right.
don't care because we'll probably be dead by then. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
but the thing is that like with mental and everything, I think it's more of a taboo because our parents didn't have that resource
Yeah.
and their parents didn't have it. So when they probably did try to bring it up, it was probably like, oh no, we keep our business in the family. We
In
don't
the
trust
family.
outsiders. So I think a lot of that has to do with the way we were raised from our parents and the way they were raised, where like you just don't tell outsiders your family business, even if they're family. If they're your cousin, your uncle, you don't tell them exactly what's going on inside your house. If they don't live in that house, they don't know what's going on for real.
A lot of
And
that had a
that's
lot of abuse and a lot of malice and a lot of, and you can have empathy in the sense that like maybe people were raised in certain damaging cycles and so they perpetuate that cycle. But that's another reason why families break up. That's another reason why people kill family members. That's a whole another reason why there are people who grew up in the same house and can't talk to some of the same siblings they had. And like for example, with my brother, like we have a rocky relationship just because of the way we were raised and just like some of those types of things that our mom tried to beat out of us. And for example, like there was one time where I was at my sister's place and like I'm talking about police brutality, and he's having an issue with that because despite the fact that he was in a gang and like has had issues with the law before, he at the same time knows cops that he's cool with. So he's like, oh, you talking about an ACAB basically, and like wanted to fight me over the concept. And I'm just like, yo, so let's say we fight, and let's say
so.
you,
Do you see a therapist? Have you found a therapist yet?
nah, like, basically working with my doctor, I gotta talk to a social worker to basically get therapy.
Okay.
The reason I'm not like, I think the thing that helped me not be worse off than I am currently is that like I kind of, and this is bad too, I kind of like in a lot of my friendships was like the therapist and was the person
That's
like
how I am.
yeah. So
Everybody wants to tell me.
for the problem with that for me is like my roommate's always talking about I intellectualize a lot of my feelings. So instead of feeling my feelings, I'm thinking about what's appropriate to feel and what's appropriate to respond to situations. And so
Let it go.
instance,
Let it go. Let
I
it go.
mean it's hard to let it go because
Express yourself.
I I I trust myself, but I also, for example, like what you call it? I don't know if Queen Pedii, you know the story about the whole DC situation.
The what?
There's a situation where like I was with my friend for a birthday party. We were picking up one of our friends, and guys started following us like to rob us. And my friend noticed that like uh, my friend, let's call
If
her
you
Lil.
if you told me this story, you told me this years ago.
Hey, one friend is let's call her Little, and let's call the other friend Mark. So Little noticed that Mark got real quiet, and she looked back and noticed people were following us and put on masks. And so she let me know. And so I'm already just there like, great. But I'm still talking, holding a conversation, pretending not to notice them so that if they do try something, like they won't know that I know. And when when we get on the block that we're supposed to like be all meeting up at to go to the house, the guys finally run up and I spin around and try to knock the gun out their hands. They had a whole gun and everything like that. I don't know if it was real or not, but like when I tried to knock the gun out their hands, I didn't get the gun. And I'm like, fuck. Now I gotta I have to get this gun. And so I'm chasing that guy, like his friend runs off. I'm chasing him around cars around the block. And I'm hoping I'm buying time for my friends to get out. So I'm like, if I get like in my mind at that point, I'm like, my humanity switches off. I'm like, if I get the gun, I'm ending it because I don't want there to be a situation where we go in the house, they see what house we're in, and they're waiting on us, and they try and catch us either then or later at the night or them in general. So I'm like, I have to eliminate the threat. And I chase them off into like an alley, and I'm thinking, all right, now do I like I've lost the element of like surprise because if I go into the alley, it's dark, they have time to like regroup. I hear my friend Little calling for me. So I run, I grab her, and we go into the house. And like,
Hello?
hmm?
You said Lily?
I said, look,
Lou?
you know her, but I'm using aliases here. But so I go into the house, and
You got my friends out here in dangerous situations, Tryst.
no, they haven't. She lived out there. She lived out there. I'm just trying. I'm not gangster or nothing, but I'm like my friends are not dying on my watch. In my head I was like I would like in another time too where my friend that I was in a drum line with, we got in a subway, we got in a subway fight and everything like that, and the guy fighting my friend would like reach back to pull out a gun, and like in my head I was like, if I die, the world will continue on. If he dies, because he was the guy who was like leading out the drum line and we like basically looked after kids. And I was like, if he dies, all these kids are going to like have no one. They're gonna just have the streets. So I jumped in front of my friend and that made the guy who was gonna pull the gun stop. And he pulled his man's back too. And then we were in their neighborhood. Like they walked off and they had guys jumping over the turnstile, like at least 4 or 5 guys jumped over the turnstile, and he set them back. And I saw that guy like maybe a week or so later. This happened when I was like 18. And it happened in New York. And I saw him later and he's like, yo, I don't respect your friend, but I respect what you did basically. And like I never like I was working at the time in that area. Like after that day I like got out because I didn't want no drama to happen and they want like information on my friend or whatever. But and my roommate has talked to me about like I have this martyr complex where like I'm willing to sacrifice myself to protect others. And what's so fucked up is like at the time, like for example, the situation with Lil and Mark, I was actually because Lil was yelling at me like, yo, I was in a relationship at the time, and Lil was like, yo, what if you died? Like, what would I tell your parents? What would I tell your girl? Like shit like that. But I was like, look, I would rather have died than y'all die, and I'm just like left with y'all bodies and stuff like that because I did nothing. And in my head, I was also like, yeah, for someone, I was actually like surprised. I was like in my head because I would always tell my friends like, yo, don't get into no fuck shit. Because if you get into fuck shit, I'm not dying for you. I'm leaving you. I would tell them. And so when it actually happens, it's like, well, damn, you the one person that I expect you not to do this. But I was like, it was almost like a weird like happiness I had that I was willing to do it because I was like, yo, like despite all the fear and anxiety I have about dying, if push comes to shove, I'm willing to be a protector for people that I love and care about. But at the same time, that's still something I got to work on to not constantly feel the need to be willing to sacrifice so much for others. And that's I'm closing up now, but yeah, a place where we don't feel we have to like do it all on our own. that we can look after each other and help each other because as time goes on, whether it's climate change, whether it's political instability, whether it's like another Great Depression, we everything we've had like in the past year or two has showed us they're not going to give a fuck, and they're going to let people by the wayside fall off as long as their money is good. So we got to start looking after each other, whether that's mutual aid, whether it's checking on your friends, whether it's just changing the way we talk to each other about the goals we want to accomplish and the things we need, like not necessarily turn into leeches on each other. We need to get to the place where like yes, like because the sense of the hardness that we're on that we like our parents have been raising, their parents were raising, we've been raising, is to not be a leech and a anchor that holds each other back. But we need to get to a place where we don't foster that kind of like manipulative energy, but we do foster an altruistic sense and a like communicative sense of like we got us when no one else has us. We're gonna look after each other. We're gonna help each other, and we're going to spread that energy to other people who are willing to carry that forward. And like I hope there's more of that in the future as we continue.
All right, well, let us have a moment of silence for Kevin Ward and Ian Alexander. All right, let's take a break.